Where's my... Oh, crap. Hey, did you get my invite? I think so. I'm not sure, though. Yeah. Yeah. I did. Yeah, I did it from YouTube, and I see it is streaming live right now. And then I sent you an invite. I don't know. I didn't think it was going to be this complicated, honestly. I really didn't. I know, right? Oh, I know. Whichever one is associated with your Google Hangouts. It said it invited you. Okay, hold on one second. I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's another way I can do it. Hold on. Where is... Okay, that's chat. Okay. Oh, okay. Here's a link I can share. Hold on. Okay, hold on one second. I'll email it. Hold on. Um, it's Kier.Johnson or Kier Johnson? Oh, Kier. That's why. Kier Johnson. 7. So Kier Johnson at Kier Johnson 7 at gmail.com. Okay. And there's the link. Okay, I just sent it. And then here. Yeah. Johnson 7. Yeah. Kier Johnson 7 at gmail.com, right? Okay, I found you. Okay. Now it sent the invitation. Okay. Okay, there you are.
All right, I'm gonna get it for the phone.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep. Perfect.
There we go. Now we are
Okay.
on
Now
the air.
it's broadcasting. Now, let me, just before we get started, let me double check
Yep.
on
Yep.
Facebook and let me make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, there's the
Mm-hmm.
ad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see. Oh, hey, Jamie.
Who's Jamie?
Oh, I was thinking about her the other day. Um, I've known Jamie for I think the last couple of years, and she's in the chat, and she said we can hear you crystal clear.
What up, Jamie? What up with you? How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Oh, and I was just thinking about her the other day too. Yeah, Jamie's awesome. Jamie's the one I was telling you about that does the awesome. She's really good
Oh, I know which one
with
you're talking
doing
about.
tarot card reading.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the one I was telling you about.
Okay.
How I can't really describe it, but it's what we often talk about when a person talks about wanting to use their own abilities when they're using a tool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Jamie's amazing. But
Okay. Okay.
okay, now okay, what nobody knows is that it actually took us probably going on 3 hours now to get here.
Yep.
We started a little bit after 8 o'clock trying to figure out how to go live on YouTube. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going on 11 o'clock now, and we're,
Damn.
we're finally here. It took
Yep.
that long. I feel real old because I couldn't figure it out.
Well, we did it.
Now, hold on 1 second because, okay.
Now,
Okay,
what's the
so
topic of the video? Because I couldn't really see it. So,
if I successfully type the topic in, this is about the law of attraction, manifestation, and protecting what you create.
okay. All right.
So now, okay, first of all, um, why don't you, before we get started, um, because this is really about the struggles that everybody has when it comes to learning about the law of attraction and manifestation. And so you're closest to it because you've been really, the one that's been most recently struggling with it, trying to learn how to use it, having your successes and your, what's going on. Why didn't the universe help me?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell your story about like how you've been trying to work with it for the last year or two?
All right. Sure. All right. I guess I would say if I was to think about it, how I've been trying to work with manifestation is the way that everybody's introduced to it. Well, I guess about how we first start learning about metaphysics and stuff, and the way that from what people usually talk about law of attraction is we all know putting out positive energy. That way for me didn't necessarily work because it was too much discipline for me based off of where I'm at in my life and what I have going on. So yeah, I struggled in this area bad because I don't want to be all positive. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to be in the middle. I think some things that we deal with in life require us to kind of take on a certain persona in order for us to stand up for ourselves. And I'm not, how we joke around with the whole love and light thing. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not that type of person because, I got a lot of shit going on. I got certain people around me. But yeah, I tried to do it that way, and I struggled hit and miss with it. Yeah, even when I did the whole meditation thing, I did feel differently. I felt, I guess, my frequency, my vibes go up. it's kind of unbothered. Gave me that natural high feeling that you get from smoking weed. Um, but I guess I don't know. After that, I kind of went back to my regular day to day awareness, and when I'm kind of judging myself and having all types of thoughts running through my head, and given the job that I work at, it requires it's a demanding job field. I work in the medical field, so yeah, it's kind of hard to kind of maintain a positive frame of mind. And
So, yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I understand what you're talking about because when you first start learning about the law of attraction, usually what you're trying to do is you're in this place of, oh, okay, I got to stay positive. I got to put out high vibrating energy. I got to do more good than bad.
Yeah,
And after a while, it gets a little frustrating sometimes because you're like, I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not getting any results.
yeah. Yeah, or it was that thing of, when you do so much good, it almost comes off as, when you're doing this stuff, it's like people are trying to teach you got to do so much good that you can't quote unquote do things that are bad because it would knock you back down. And I was kind of, that's why living positively kind of didn't work for me because, I want to be me. I want to carry myself in a certain composure, and I want a lot of masculinity. You know, um, while I am trying to manifest, I don't want to reach out to the angels or whatever the hell a lot of people are talking about. The butterflies and the fairies and shit. That just doesn't work for me. You know, but I
So
guess go ahead.
let's skip ahead. Okay, we will go back. So if anybody is or feeling like they're a beginner, we will skip back to the beginner position. But let's fast
Mm-hmm.
forward for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the reason why we're doing this video is because the other day something happened to you,
Yep.
which then led us to having a discussion about it. Something good happened, and it led us to
Mm-hmm.
having a discussion about it. And I said to you, well, you got to protect what you create. Okay, so fast forwarding to that. Okay, so the other day I was talking to Kier, and he was saying how his mother had woken him up to let him know she'd found this envelope that was mailed to him. And she thought, well, instead of throwing it away, I better open it and see what's in it. And when she opened it, it was a check for $500. Well, and see, the thing is, a week before, Kier had been struggling a little bit financially
Mm-hmm.
and trying to figure out, like what he was going to do, whether or not he was going to sell his laptop. And I kept
Mm-hmm.
telling him, no, don't do that. You are so helpful to your friends all the time. Instead of selling your laptop, why don't you ask one of your friends that always wants to look out for you? Why don't you ask them for help? And he really didn't kind of want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he did eventually. Somebody offered him help. He got through the week okay. And so this was the next week after that. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
understand what makes this what I really got to point out is that this $500 that he got in this check, he really had needed that the week before. He was really trying to manifest that
Mm-hmm.
the week before. That's when he needed it. Okay, so
Yep.
so um when he got the check and you know, it said on it that it expired in 180 days. And at the time, I didn't even ask him what was the date written on the check. So when I talked to him the next day, I'm like, yeah, by the way, well, what's the date written on the check? Because he goes, well, I'm at SunTrust Bank now trying to see if I'm going to be able to cash it or if it's, too late.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, "What's the date?" And he tells me the date, and I do the math real quick, and I'm like, "No, that's about 130, 150 days. No, it's not past 180 days yet."
Mm-hmm.
So he is, there's a delay. It takes a while for the lady to cash it, but she cashes the check for him. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, he walks away with the $500. And he's like, "Wow, that's really awesome." He's like, but he's like, "This is great that I got it. But where was this when I needed it? Where was this last
Mm-hmm.
week?" And he then tells me about a conversation he had with a friend on the phone where he tells his friend, which is a guy, about what happened and that he got the check. And now, Kier, you tell that part what your friend said to you.
All right, so my friend, my homeboy, he's very sarcastic, and this is kind of how he communicates. This is how he talks. But when I tell him, like, yo, you won't believe what happened, man. Like I found, my mom actually woke me up, and she found like a $500 check from me, man. I was 5 months old, man. I'm like, but I'm trying to figure out how I can if I can be able to still get it because it's been over. I said it says on 180 days and it's voided. I said this was 5 months old. So I'm like, so he starts counting. He's like, it's 100. He's like, it's 150 days, and I'm like, bitch. I said 180. So I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you, man? I'm like, why you be doing that for, man? I was like, you supposed to, you're damn. It's hard to tell me congratulations, man. Damn. And so he's like, I mean, what, man? I've been supportive. You think you can let me borrow $50? So it was his way of doing it. And so I just kind of just started thinking back. I was still questioning, why is it that it took so long to get here? And I think yeah, Sherry helped me to piece that up from what the process of what I told her that I was doing. I told her that I definitely been practicing hold on just for a second. I was practicing with my piano, and I was practicing music, and I like to sing a lot and stuff. So I told her ever since we moved into this house, that's kind of all I was doing. It was just going inside my room, closing the door, didn't come out for nothing. If I did come out for something to eat, everybody be like, "Oh damn, I haven't seen you in about 2 days. Where you been at?" I'm like, "Going back upstairs where I belong. See you." So that's kind of what I was doing. I was telling Sherry about how I was kind of visualizing myself as this incredible artist. And literally, I was like, yeah, I was feeling it. I had my music playing, and I would close my eyes. I would do everything, really envisioning myself on a stage without no intent of manifesting at all. That was not even in the equation to be doing this. I just felt like doing it because I guess it was just strengthening my confidence of, yeah, man, you can be great if you just keep practicing. So I've been doing this for over a period of, I think it was a period of 4 days and all day. I mean, all day in the room, just practicing and visualizing. And so when I told her that, she was like, "Well, that's why, you were putting out high vibrational energy." And I was like, "You know what? You're right." Because literally every time a friend called, I wouldn't answer. I told them to call you later. I don't feel like talking right now. And I was like, literally, that's all I was doing. And I was like, yeah, and I was doing this from, literally sun up and sun down. I was just standing in my room practicing, listening to music, jumping up and down, dancing, just doing it for the hell of it because I wanted to build confidence in myself. And I didn't realize that that's what I was doing, putting out good vibes, good thoughts, and all of that stuff. And then all of a sudden, my mom came in my room one morning and she just woke me up and told me this. And I'm like, what you talking about, mom? She's like, I found the check here. So I'm like half asleep, half awake, like, what? Questioning, where did this come from? Like, I had to look at the check. I sat there and pondered it. And I'm like, who gave me this check? And so I seen the school that I went to, Tidewater Tech. Tidewater Tech. I was going to school to be a mechanic. And realized that they sent me a refund check. And it's just that I didn't get it because, yeah, I forgot all about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I don't even remember seeing it. My mom just brought it up to me and told me, and I was like thinking to myself, well, this can't be by accident, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Why didn't this come before? And Sherry helped me to clarify, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with that. That's true. I really believe that because literally, for those past days, I wasn't talking to anybody on the phone, and that's all I was doing, putting out good vibes, good thoughts, and it was yeah, I guess
Yeah, and
interesting.
yeah, and the thing is that one of the things that I was paying attention to is here's the first thing. Um what I had told you is that it was almost like you were accidentally manifesting, because when you were, first of all, there are certain things that will help raise your vibrations, and music, sound, these are things that when you do them, hold on one second. You
Mm-hmm.
are okay, hold on, I'm gonna text out this message. Hold on. And see if it'll let me. Um, when you are okay, I don't know. It's not letting me. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, I got it. Um, okay. When you were doing your music and you're visualizing seeing yourself on stage
Mm-hmm.
and performing, I always say visualization is very powerful, and when it comes to manifesting, there you have to use visualization. You really need to, because it's very powerful. And you were visualizing, and what the universe was picking up on is who you're seeing yourself as. You're visualizing yourself on stage performing as though you're already that performer. And along with that goes fame and fortune. So the universe has to try to
Mm-hmm.
match up with that visual that you're showing it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so you were purposely working on manifestation, but the visual that you had and everything, basically you did exactly what you needed to do, because you not only were visualizing, you also had the emotional component, because a lot of times when you're listening to music or you're singing, there is emotion that goes into it, and that is very
Yeah.
important when it comes to manifestation and the law of attraction, that emotional component.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times what we miss, being able to adequately create. We can visualize things, but when I say to people, okay, visualize yourself in your dream car, okay, now imagine how it's going to feel. A lot of times people have a hard time with that. But when it comes to music, it's a little bit easier, because the music itself makes you feel. The music
Yeah.
itself brings about an emotion. And,
Well,
then, in the back of our minds, we usually have a desire about the things we want. And for
yeah.
you, where's your focus been lately? Has been on working, making money, and for a reason, because of the things that you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you didn't know at the time is that suddenly you had all the key components going on. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's one thing. But then when you called and you talked to your friend, what I had told you is that you have to keep in mind is, even though he's your friend and he likes you, sometimes when good fortune comes to you and you tell a friend about it, yeah, they're your friend and they care about you, but at the same time, yeah, at the same time, they're kind of like maybe they wish it was them. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that they don't want it for you, but it's kind of like they wish it, if it was anybody, it was them. So when he went to count the days, He said, it's 150. Like he wanted to say, you're not going to be able to cash that check. You're not going to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're like, why would you do that? Why would you be like that to me?
Cause he an asshole, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the point is, that would have made him feel better because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, a lot of people, yeah, they're happy for you, but at the same time, they're not happy that it's not them.
Yeah.
And that is when I told you that you have to remember, you have to protect what you create.
Mm-hmm.
The whole premise of tell no man, when you're working on creating something, it's really, really important that you pay attention to who you share that with. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we can share things with a person because, in our minds, we're thinking they're our friends, they wish us well. But what are they really thinking that they're not telling us? What are they thinking secretly?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it can also or even though it's said in a sarcastic way, sometimes it still causes self doubt. It still lingers on the subconscious mind. It's just like I don't know if you remember when I told you about the picture that I did. And when I did that, the one friend that was trying to get in contact with me for a while because he had just got out of jail. And so he was messaging, asking, and then he saw one picture that I took, and he was like, "Take this shit the fuck off." He goes, "Take that shit the fuck off." And so I'm like, "Look, man, I've been reading. I do a lot of things differently since you've been locked up. Everything is different now, man." And so one of my friends told me, he's like, "Yeah." He showed me the picture that you took. He was like, "Nah," he was like, "The picture's just weird." And I was like, "All right, it could be weird." I said, "Well, what that got to do with him?" I was like, a lot of shit that he does is weird to me. I said, but I don't judge him for it. I was like, that's what he had in his life. And I said, I'm somewhere differently in my life. So I'm like, did you read the caption that I said? He was like, no, I ain't see the caption. I'm like, all right then. But it's just like, certain things like that. Yeah, even though my friend, yeah, he meant well. At the same time, it's just like, nah, man. Like, this is what I'm on, this is what I'm doing. You gotta respect it. And he called not too long ago and I didn't answer the phone because I just didn't feel like talking. But yeah, sometimes you do definitely that's why that resonated with me when you said that. You do gotta kinda protect what you're doing because people will try to, add the sense and basically or add what they think about it and put it off for you and it cause you to feel some type of way.
And
Cause you
people,
so
yeah, and people often can't help how they feel.
yeah.
I mean, imagine if you were sharing that news with somebody who was going through hard financial times
Yeah.
as
Mm,
as your friend. Yeah, they feel happy for you, but at the same time, yeah, they're going through hard financial times. So there's a little part of them that may feel jealous.
yeah.
And unfortunately, what happens is, okay, so here's the thing, the reason why you have to protect what you create is because, okay, imagine this. Okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2, but 1 plus a -1 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
So you have let's say you have the positive. A friend
Mm-hmm.
comes along, they've got the negative, and it basically canceled out what you were trying to create.
Yeah. Not.
Now, what I had said to you is that you had literally talked to him before going to cash that check. That could have
Mm-hmm.
actually affected the outcome because I was on the phone with you when you were at SunTrust going to cash the check. And it was taking a while. And I was
Mm-hmm.
getting a little nervous on my end.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, what's taking so long? I was like, what is she doing? You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
it literally could have led to a different outcome. We've all
Mm-hmm.
seen this happen before where things miraculously happen either in our favor or it's not in our favor. Where it's just like It could have gone either way, and surprisingly, it went one way or the other.
Yeah.
This is the reason why you have to protect what you create, because at that point, yeah, you had to check, but a check is a piece of paper. It's nothing yet. It hasn't been cashed. You haven't gotten the
Mhm.
money put in your hand. Literally, his vibes could have gone against yours. Now, of course, here's the thing. Of course, in this case, it couldn't, because your vibrations are much higher than his. You might also have a lower karmic debt than he has. That plays into it. So, how how much would he be able to affect what you create? Well, it depends on where you're at versus where he's at. So, in
Mhm.
you, this isn't always this. Depending on who you're dealing with, it's not always the same. Okay, let's say now you are talking with somebody who has higher vibrations than yours, and you say, "Oh, yeah, you know what? I've decided I'm going to become a figure skater. I'm going to do couples figure skating." Let's say you tell me that, and I go, "He's never going to be able to do that." Well, my thought is now going against yours, what you're trying to create. So that's why I'm saying you're not always going to be dealing with the same type of person that's at the same vibratory level. You may be dealing with somebody that's at a lower vibratory level than you, that has less power than you in what they create, but you may be dealing with somebody that actually has high vibrations.
You know, what's that? My other homeboy is another homeboy that showed me a movie with Samuel L. Jackson and that guy off of Men in Black, the white guy. I forgot what that movie was called, but in the movie, Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about. Samuel L. Jackson. I saw part of it. Kind of gave him, the guy wanted to commit suicide, I think, and so Samuel L. Jackson gave him all these reasons of why he shouldn't commit suicide, and it was very, I guess, enlightening to him. But then it was the guy's turn, who was kind of like, the devil, basically. Wasn't he? Sort of kind of had that wisdom,
I
that
know,
he had reasoning for
I know,
everything.
yeah, I know what movie you're talking about. I cannot remember the name of it.
Mhm.
Wasn't that was that was just a two-person movie. That was only There's only two characters in that movie, him and the other guy, right? The whole
Yeah,
time.
they were sitting at the table.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was an awesome movie.
yeah,
They should have gotten the Oscar for that.
yeah.
There was only two actors in this whole movie. This movie
Mhm.
was awesome.
Yep. And they were sitting at the table, and so he gave. It was his turn to talk, and he gave so many valid reasons, and I think to the point where it had Samuel L. Jackson doubting his faith. And I kind of see it like that, if you got somebody, yeah, that like me, I'm more prone to being cynical. I don't know why, I just am, but I don't want to be like that. To where though I could actually have somebody doubting themselves because of what I know and what I learned and what I've been through. So I actually definitely get you from when you say that. Had it been somebody else, yeah, somebody that kind of knew their shit, yeah, they probably could have had me kind of doubting the process and doubting it. But this particular friend, no. No,
Um,
I wouldn't say that he has an awareness to actually do that to me.
yeah. Hold on one second.
Hmm. Oh, and Jamie said also sometimes we outgrow people. Yeah, definitely. I think that's happening to me now. Even with certain females that I like, I'm outgrowing them. I had to go through, you know, um, a lot of things to actually know my self worth, and I've been actually doing this whole spiritual, metaphysical, self growth thing for about 5 years, and still I'm still actually learning.
Yeah,
But
and
it's
that's
actually
that
I'm
is Yeah, that is the other thing that Jamie had pointed out in the chat. She had said, and sometimes we outgrow people. And
Yeah,
um, that is very true, is that sometimes it's time for you to like move on from people.
yeah.
Like they're literally in your life not doing you any good. It's not just that they're not doing you any good. It's
They
like what
no
they're
longer serve you. You know, yeah,
yeah, it's almost like it's not they not only no longer serve you, but what they're contributing to your life is now become almost like a negative.
yeah.
It's taking away from you.
I, and what is it? I said to somebody, um, a good friend of mine, and reader of mine, uh, they were doing a reading to me, and they said that it was like, yeah, you're not really looking forward to relationships, and I was like, yeah, because I feel like at this point, the point that I'm in my life and where I'm focused on and where I want to be headed, it's almost like selling my soul. And I was like, and it's a sacrifice, and I did it so many times that I'm getting tired of it. And yeah, it's getting in the way of my self growth and where I want to be headed. So yeah, no, yeah, agreed. I'm sorry I was a little bit off topic, but go ahead.
No, 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 that's okay because that all plays into it. Everything that you have going on in your life, kind of when you're trying to manifest, plays into it. If it affects you, it plays into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the universe is picking up on what you're focused on, what you're thinking about, what's bothering you, so it all plays into it.
Yeah.
Um, it's like literally you have to get good at policing your thoughts, where your focus is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's people that are pulling your focus to a certain place. And then it's sometimes you're letting people draw you in to like basically certain crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and so you really have to get good with not letting people do that to you, because it becomes like, if you're really serious about the law of attraction and manifestation, you really have to get good at policing where your head is at, where your heart is at, what's bothering you, and resolving it quickly, um and putting enough
Yeah.
focus, keeping enough focus on the right things.
And it's
That's
funny.
the thing about the music, you know,
Yeah.
because you did
It,
it so much over the course of what, a few days. You were just
yeah.
all into it for a few days and focused on it. You had so much focus, and that's what I'm always talking to people about. I'm like, it's up to you. You always had the ability, you always had the power to manifest. The trick was about how much time you put into it.
Mm-hmm. How much time I put into it, the less distractions that I have, because with my friends, I have a small circle of friends, but I'm used to actually talking to certain ones for a period of time. One of my best friends, my boy, he's a cool guy, cool guy. Uh, but sometimes he can be a little sarcastic. So after I got the little read from the friend, it was funny. I didn't tell you this. But I got the read from the friend. I don't know. He called me, so I called him back. So he's like, what the fuck you doing? You punk ass. And so I was like, nothing, you negative bitch. And so it was almost like, I was laughing. He laughed. He was like, oh my God, you meant that. Damn. So so I was like, nah, I said, it's just that, I just had a conversation with somebody, and I said, they really inspired me. I said, now I'm on the phone with your fucking ass. So he's like, yeah, fuck all that. But it's like, that's just the way how he talks, and it's okay. But at the same time, I once heard from somebody, they say if you're trying to get help from the universe, you can't really be sarcastic with it. You got to be really assertive and really don't kid around. Don't kid around with the universe, or those are the results you'll kind of get. So when I did, cut out my distractions and put all my focus on, the music and just kind of get into that space, yeah. I didn't hear, I didn't really have anybody's opinion in my way. I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just had my clear focus on what I was doing. And I guess that's why that happened like that. I told my boy, I was like, I'll call you back. And he was like, answer the phone, stop playing, man. I'm like, no, I'll call you back, man. I'm busy. I don't feel like talking right now. Like, nothing wrong with me. Man, pick up the phone. He kept trying to call me and call me and call me. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna call you back, man, the next day. Hold on. He called again and I didn't answer. He said, I'm gonna kill you, bitch.
Oh my goodness.
I was laughing. I was like, man. I said, you must be really bored, man. I said, I just said I'm gonna call you back, man, tomorrow. I'm like, I'm busy doing something. But when that happened, yeah, when the check came and everything, came by, I just realized, yeah, maybe I need to kind of cut off my distractions a little bit more so I can have clear focus on, what I
Well,
am.
yeah, because I think that what happens is once you experience manifestation, you then realize, well, wait a minute. If I get more serious with this, what could I have? What could I achieve?
Yeah, yep,
But a lot of times what's really hard is that you may be waiting to have those successes.
yep,
You know what I mean? It hasn't become commonplace to you yet. Most of the time you're waiting because um as you raise your vibrations, what you'll learn is that you will manifest faster.
oh
So
yeah,
there's a period of time where you're just like you said, you were like, well, where was it last week when I needed it?
mm-hmm,
But it takes time.
yep,
You want it to be faster. There's a sacrifice you have to make for everything you gain.
yep,
You know what I mean? And in this case, the sacrifice is spend more time doing like spiritual work, raising your vibrations. You will be able to manifest faster.
yeah. No, that's definitely true. Uh, and I know you probably heard me say, I just feel like, I do better once I move. And usually people say, oh, if you can't make it here, you can't make it there. No, not really. I feel like if I move to a place where people don't know me, I can actually be that person. I can have live by these perspectives and morals that I, always kind of had, but I couldn't do it because people knew who I were, knew who I was from the past. And sometimes my friends still carry me that way. So my friend that's got out of jail, he still looking at me from the kid that he knew. You know what I'm saying? 5 years
Right.
ago. So
Right.
like, I can't be the person that I am now to him because he's looking at me like, if you don't sit your ass down, But it's just like, I can't blame him for that
Well,
because
yeah, there was a time when I still had a lot of friends in my life that didn't like understand what I was learning, the direction I was growing in. And they would make jokes about what I was doing. And like I told you, one of the people I used to do consulting work for, that said, he goes, oh, whenever I think of you at home, I imagine that you're sitting and staring at the wall. And that was supposed to be funny. You know what I mean? That was his way of saying I can't imagine. You know what I mean? I can't imagine or get into what type of life you are leading and what it must be
yeah,
like, because I don't know. I guess he thought it was some magical or something. I guess he thought I was like some freaking leprechaun or something.
yeah, because it's these ideals that they create based off, their limited understanding, their limited research. And what it is, I had my brother say that to me one time. He was like, "So what the fuck are you doing? Just staring at the fucking wall?" And I'm like, "Nah, what if I'm just in my room listening to damn music, man?" And it's just like, don't think just because, I say that I'm spiritual that it's quote unquote religious or, some damn monk that just doesn't do shit. Nah, you know, it's just that
Well, it is, yeah, it is very passive and active at the same time. And that's
yeah,
the thing. When it comes to the law of attraction and manifestation, there's a part of it that you will be working at that is passive, but then there's a part of it that's very active, very much, okay, you got to do this. You've got to put focus on this. There are key elements that you got to have going on. You got to put enough high vibrating energy out. So you may sit down and say, okay, I'm going to say the violet flame decree repeatedly for a period of time so I can purposely put that high vibrating energy out. And then
yeah,
there's another period of time where you're like, I'm going to spend a period of time focusing on what it is I want. Just with my eyes closed, just visualizing myself driving that Maserati. And, I always say that. And I do practice
yeah,
that visual. And then my son gets mad because this is not a car we see. You know what I mean? Maserati is not a car that you commonly see all over the place. And when I do that, all of a sudden, me and my son will be in the car and he'll be like, "Oh, there goes another Maserati." And he'll get like really annoyed because he knows that what I'm doing is creating that. He's like, "Oh, didn't you just see it? Another Maserati just went by." And they're never the same. They're
Mhm.
never the same. They're always different colors, almost like the universe is trying to make it obvious. You're not just repeatedly seeing the same car, the same person that lives in an area with that car. It's always different style, different color. Look, there aren't that many. I don't even know where there's a Maserati dealership. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
not a car you see. So it was funny, like whenever I start doing the visual, seeing myself in it, imagine myself driving it, and you know, yep, start seeing them all over the place.
yeah. No, yeah, yeah. I had certain, I guess yeah. Me, I guess my issues with manifesting was that sometimes I would get too I would put most of my attention on it to where as though I felt like I kind of was putting a pause on life, I guess. And then it would kind of get boring to me because I'm just like I'm not doing anything but just doing this until something comes about. And I would think to myself that if I went around my friends that I would get distracted and I'll just basically just say fuck it. And that was a big thing for me. But living from that positive place, but that I struggled with that big time because I had times when my friends were trying to like, oh, you need to do something. You don't really do nothing. When I first started, I was reading books and stuff like, oh, you don't do anything. All you do is read, and all you do is just sit. You just kind of just said, fuck, you just forgot about your life. But I didn't feel that way. But I started to later on. But that made manifestation definitely hard for me because I thought it was specific rules I had to follow in order to get what I wanted.
I mean, I there are. Oh crap! Sorry, lost my ear set. Um, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I think, yeah, I would say, in a way, I would say, yeah, there are rules, but the rules are the pieces that you need to manifest.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? What are the elements that need to be there for you to manifest? That's what I would say the rules are.
yeah.
There are certain pieces. So let me just say what they are, just in case you don't know. Okay. So the universe has to owe you something. And the way to trick that is that you do something that's sending out high vibrating energy, such as saying the violet flame decree repeatedly to purposely send out more high vibrating energy. So that's the first thing. The universe has to owe you something. The second thing is the universe has to see you focused on what it is you want. So that means no negative talk. There can be no talk like such as, oh, I'm tired of being broke. You can't
Yeah,
say or think things like that anymore. You have to try to control your thinking and not allow yourself to go in that direction,
yeah,
which
yeah.
also includes worry.
Yeah,
Worrying is just another form of self-talk, negative self-talk.
yeah. Well, one thing I'm coming to the conclusion of, it's almost as if you have to train yourself to self love. You know what I'm saying? Like, sort of, kind of. Like,
Yeah,
it's almost
that
as if
is
you
true.
really got to train yourself to be a lucky person. And that's
Well,
kind of what I started thinking about. Like, yeah, what if it is like that?
you have to believe what you're trying to convince the universe of is that you already are what you're trying to create, or you already have what you're trying to create. So that is the reason why I said that those days when you were in your room doing music, visualizing as you're doing it, singing along to music, seeing yourself on stage, you were convincing the universe you were already that.
Yeah,
You're doing this visual of you on stage. You're basically showing the universe what you want it to believe is true. So the universe goes,
yeah.
oh, okay, I owe him something. What's he focused on? Okay, well, he's seeing himself on stage and he's got all this energy of fame, fortune going on. Oh, okay, I
Hmm.
have to match up with that. That's what he's saying he wants. I got to match up with that.
Hmm.
So it started the process. So then, so you had that going on. That's what created that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then the other thing that you need is, like I said, visualization. The reason why either people don't end up creating what they want, or it takes so long, is a lot of people aren't good with holding the visual long enough. And with holding the visual, I don't mean at one time. I mean over a course of a period of time. Holding the visual isn't about that one time you practice it, like today, and maybe you held that visual, you visualized for 15 minutes. No, holding the visual actually is talking about over the span of time. You're going to do it today, you're going to do it tomorrow, you're going to do it the next day. You're going to put enough time into this manifestation, because literally what you're trying to create is, imagine an architect will create a blueprint first. If he can
Hmm.
successfully create a blueprint, then what's the next step? Hey, if he can create a blueprint, he can pass that on to a home builder, and the builder can then build the building. But nothing
Yeah.
can get built without a blueprint.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you're visualizing, you're creating the blueprint.
Yep.
Okay, and then understand where these things are created. When you're manifesting, it is created in another dimension. It's created
Yep.
in another dimension, and then it has to be lowered down to this one where it manifests. So
Yeah.
create the blueprint. And now this is the thing that a lot of people don't know. I'm going to give you a tip, because there's a lot of people that talk about the higher self. Back when I started merging with the higher self, nobody was talking about the higher self. When I used to talk about, people would be like, what's the higher self? Now everybody's talking about the higher self. But here's the other thing is, A lot of people don't really know how to use the higher self, what they can use the higher self for. Pass that blueprint on to the higher self to finish creating it. So what I usually do is I tell my higher self, finish working on this blueprint until it's created. Pull from the sacred knowledge banks and stores whatever information you need to create the blueprint of what I'm trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. I've passed it. I pass it on to my higher self, and I tell my higher self, keep working on this until you're done creating the blueprint, solidifying it, and then lower it down into this dimension. I literally give that task to my higher self.
Okay.
However, I still need to put some time and energy into this. So maybe now all I need to do is simple. The next day, if it hasn't manifested yet, the next day, I'll spend a little bit more time visualizing. I'll do my visualization for it. So for you, that would have been, again, listening to music, visualizing yourself on stage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And doing like the violet flame decree for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next day, if it hasn't manifested yet, I'll do it the next day. But my goal is to put enough time in on it so that it won't take too long to manifest.
Yeah. No, yeah, and me, I just yeah, the music kind of helps me do it, because I really don't have an aim or focus in. If I'm doing it through money wise, it's to me it just comes off as if I'm still waiting on it. I'm still waiting, I'm still waiting, I'm still waiting, I'm still waiting. I'm not seeing results, but I'm still waiting, I'm still waiting. So I guess that's why I also struggled in the past with that, especially when I was trying to manifest abundance instead of just taking.
Well, and the
Good.
thing, I always talk about this with you is that when it comes to manifesting money, it's easier to manifest a thing
Mm-hmm.
than money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier. That's the reason why I use the Maserati. Because the universe understands that. The universe
Mm-hmm.
understands, like, when you're visualizing being on stage, the universe can understand that. It understands, oh, okay, he's visualizing fame, fortune, performing, like an entertainer. The universe can understand that and understands that there is money associated with that,
Mm-hmm.
associated with it. The universe doesn't really understand money. You know what I mean? Money as in cash.
Mm-hmm.
That's a man-made thing. What does the universe know about money? That's a man-made thing. But the universe does understand when we want things because it understands the relation. It understands, oh, okay, Kier wants a car. He wants a Honda Civic. Oh, new Honda Civic costs $30,000. So the universe understands that. Kier needs a $30,000 to get it, and I owe him something, and I owe him that. So I need to get him $30,000. So, okay, one way I can do it is, okay, this is the other thing we got to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Notice, I had said to you, notice how the universe orchestrated the whole $500 thing. You didn't find it. Your mother found it.
Yeah.
And your mother said, well, I thought I better open this envelope and not just throw it away and see what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
All that time that she hadn't done that, nobody had come across it, you hadn't come across it. This was money that had been there. It had been there for you to
Yep.
find.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't find it, but the universe made sure it got to you in the end,
Yeah.
because
No,
it was
yep.
kind of like, oh, okay, I owe him something. Oh, wait, there's $500 sitting in his house he doesn't know about. Let me orchestrate this to get to him.
Yeah, and it was unexpected. Like, literally, I sat there because I'm just like, where did this come from? Something I was looking for. It just showed up. I wasn't expecting to get any money. I wasn't expecting. I was just having fun and just kind of playing around with music. And yeah, it just came out of nowhere, and I'm just sat there in the puzzle, just trying to figure out where the fuck did this come from. But yeah, I
I
couldn't figure it out.
yeah, I'm laughing because thinking back on the day you told me about it, I remember how baffled you sounded. You
Mm-hmm.
sounded like really, really baffled. Like, where did this come from? But
Yeah.
then I remember when you said, where was it last week when I really needed it? I remember your voice changed.
Yep.
You went from sounding baffled to sounding agitated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, where the hell was the universe when I really needed help?
Nah, yep. That's exactly how my thinking was like, damn, why now? Why not before when I needed it,
Yeah,
Why would I be considering selling my laptop? Why now? You know.
and yeah, I do think that a lot of people do think that way. A lot of people do kind of think and feel like, well, where was this when I needed it in my life? Or they finally get something and they're just like, oh, if I had gotten this 2 months ago, and they
Mm-hmm.
start thinking about what that could have meant for them.
Well, yeah. No,
Mm.
yeah, definitely.
But now keep in mind, that's why I said to you, I started then talking to you about, after we talked about protecting what you create by being careful who you talk to about it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Remember, I said about the pipeline. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people anyone who has a sales experience, they know what I'm talking about when I say filling the pipeline. Because in sales, that's a common term. You're filling the pipeline. That might mean that you're marketing so that you've got plenty of sales that are filling this pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
so that you've got this steady flow of people buying your products. Okay. Well, I think of that with manifestation, because you don't want to just manifest one thing and then you don't manifest anything for a while again. You
Well,
want
yeah.
a steady flow. So that's why I said to you, I said, now this is the cool thing. When you successfully manifest something and then you can look back and go, wait a minute, what did I do to make that happen? You got your own blueprint. You got your own
Yeah.
design for, now I get it. Now I understood how it worked for me. And it may have worked for you, unlike how another person described it working, but you know how it worked for you. So now
Yeah.
it's like saying repeat the process, because now you can,
Well, yeah.
because you
Yep.
know what you did.
Yeah. And it's just, yeah. How I see it is, if you really want to manifest, you really got to kind of be good to yourself. And, you know, just merely just, I guess, closing my eyes and kind of just shifting off into a fantasy and really feeling the energy from that and feeling how good it would feel to kind of perform. I was putting myself, like I told you, I was putting myself on different TV shows, talk show hosts, and literally saw myself just had the headphones in my ear, jumping around as if I was walking down the stage, jumping, routing the crowd up, Even inviting people to come out and come dance with me. I even let the kids on the stage and we were all dancing. Like I really shifted into that, and how good that will feel. It was for a minute where I actually sat down and, you know, um, just kind of just started imagining myself just being sitting on the stage and we're all just having fun and thanking God for, you know, kind of what I always wanted to do, to uplift people. And just kind of just repeating it, I guess, yeah. It was kind of satisfying. It was just like this is the feeling that I want to feel.
And that's what I was talking about, is that you finally brought the emotional aspect into it, and people wouldn't believe how important that is.
Hmm.
I always use the example that I read in one of my law of attraction books, by, oh crap, who is it by? I forget. Maybe I'll remember later. But the example they use is with Little League and this kid that would get up to bat, and every time he'd hit it out of the park.
Hmm.
And somebody asked him, well, how do you keep doing that? And he basically said, well, when I get up to bat, I just remember what it felt like the last time.
Okay.
He's
I like that.
repeating, yeah, he's kind of repeating like an emotional feeling. He knows what it felt like to make contact with the ball, how he felt when he hit it, and he just knew. You know how you hit it and you haven't you haven't seen it go all the way out the park yet, but the way you made contact with it, you just know that's it.
They actually said that that's what basketball players do. I actually heard they
Mhm.
said they hit these psychic hotspots, the kind of lets you know, oh
Yes.
yeah, I know how
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it is kind of like an energetic feel,
Yeah.
because it suddenly you feel it. It feels the same way it felt the last time you did it successfully. And you
Hmm.
know what? When whether you're doing a psychic reading or a channeling and you're very on, same thing happens. You feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it. And that
Hmm.
feeling of I'm in the zone. I feel it.
Yeah, like I'm certain. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. It's like a flow state. I like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I've been it's so funny. I've been trying to adequately explain to people how important the emotional aspect is to manifesting, and the law of attraction, that you've got to get that emotional aspect in there. And I often do it by asking a person, I'll ask them, I'll be like, oh, okay, so tell me, what are you trying to manifest? Okay, if it's a new job, okay, it's a new job. Okay, now
Yeah.
I'll say to them, visualize yourself walking into a building. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Just imagine that you're walking into the office of your new job. Just
Hmm.
make up something, a visual in your head of what it might look like. I said, and then once I kind of walk them back to their desk and I tell them, okay, imagine you've got your own office. See yourself walking into your office, see yourself sitting down at your desk. But the last thing I always ask them is, now tell me how that feels. Now,
Yeah.
this is where I usually lose people, because often they can't connect with a feeling. So I would say that if you're going to get good at manifesting, this is the part that you need to work on and try to get good at. And you were lucky enough that, because of the music aspect, that was
Yeah.
helping to create the emotional feeling. That's the awesome thing about music. Well, so maybe I would tell people, maybe while you're doing your work on the law of attraction and manifestation, maybe listen to music at the same time and do your visual, but do it with the music in the background.
Yeah.
But isn't that what happens when we're sometimes watching a movie or a TV show, if you think about it?
Oh yeah, we're putting ourselves in that position. We're getting
Yeah.
too caught up in the music and the instrumentals in the background, and yeah.
Okay, like Bad Boys or Bad Boys 2,
Hmm.
or any movie like that where it was like where you could think, oh, I remember this movie I watched. It had really good music. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was that music in the background that brought it all together for you.
yeah, and usually that's what it is. That makes people, I guess, relate because they can kind of step into your emotion because of the music and what's going on. It's
Yep.
bringing them more into the experience. But yeah, no, yeah, that was a yeah to me. That was a good manifest station to using music because yeah, it made it more of a reality.
Yeah, and you have to, the reason why you've got to work on it every day is because you've got to keep that pipeline filled. You
Yeah,
want to you want to keep a flow going on. You don't want it to be too long before that next thing happens. It may not be $500. It may be 500 one time. The next time it may be 10. Next time it may be 50. The next time it may be 5. But you want to keep it flowing in
yeah.
because all of it counts. I don't care if it's $1 or $5. It all counts. It all adds up. It's all flowing from the same place, and you just need to keep it flowing.
Yeah, it's just yeah, pretty much. As I said now about self. I mean, some people like to use meditations and stuff that helps them out, but sometimes it takes doing it on a constant basis. Um, making that part of your routine. I know with me, chakra meditation used to make me feel good after I do. After I did
Yes.
it, like I was on this damn high. I was just floating, just like yeah, whoo man. So glad I did that. Now I can go outside on a spring day, and it was incredible. Felt like
I don't
nothing
know.
bothered me and weightless. But yeah,
I would say that with you, that even though you may be a person that needs to do your meditation every day,
yeah,
I would say with you, when it comes to manifestation, you need to be more active. It needs to be something high energy, like listening to music that gets you really pumped up, that gets you wanting to dance along to it, that gets you doing that visual with it. um
hmm,
that's what you need. Yeah, you may be meditating every day, but I think that what's going to be successful for you and create a successful manifestation and keep it going is something more active.
yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm a passive, active type of person. So yeah, yeah. I like to dance. I like to, yeah. It made it more fun,
Yeah.
basically.
And I think you do have to get used to that you
Yeah,
do have to get used to there's two sides to you.
yeah,
Like it's like saying there's a time of the day when you're going to be all, passive, relaxed, in more of a I don't want to do anything. I think I'm going to meditate. But then there's that other aspect of you. Hold on. I dropped
yep,
my earpiece again. There's another aspect of you that you have to recognize and cater to, that is the more active, get up and go, dance to
yeah,
music, high, really blood pumping,
yeah.
high energy, let's do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just that was definitely that taught me something. That was a learning process. That was my way of doing it because of certain things that I like to do. Maybe for other people, it may be playing basketball, it may be a sport, it may be a video game like Tyler, but it may be certain things that kind of get you going. Some people do it through speaking. But yeah, I guess I kind of had to find my way, or what inspires me, what lifts me. Yeah.
Okay, I had to, I'm sorry, I had to run and get my charger because my phone just told me if I didn't, it was gonna die on me.
No, you're fine. No, I was just saying maybe a lot of people do it. I had to find my way. A lot of people do it through sports. I know one time I think you told me that somebody that you coached did do exercising because they like doing exercising as they were doing it. They were visualizing. I think a car. You said. I think.
Yeah, the thing is, I run into a lot of people who have time constraints. You know, they're
Yeah.
working full-time jobs. They're like they're trying to find the time. They really sincerely want to find the time. But a lot of times I try to pay attention. And when people say, "Oh yeah, I work out every day," or "I've just gotten back into trying to get into shape and I'm going to the track every day and trying to get back into jogging," I'm like, "Cool. Let's use what you're already doing
Doing yeah.
because that's high vibration." There
Yeah.
is almost nothing more high vibration than when you're working out or you're running or you're going
Hmm.
out, just taking energetic walk. That's not too passive. So if they're already doing an exercise or something or yoga or I don't care what it is, I say, look, all I need you to do is just incorporate something else with that. I need you to one, visualize at the time what you want, and two, say a decree or a mantra while you're doing it.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, people, I think everybody kind of has to find their way of, doing it, through whatever activities that they enjoy doing. And, yeah,
Exactly. So, yeah, I think you don't have to, because I know I said this earlier, I think there's there are people that will try to teach you the law of attraction and manifestation, but you don't have to do it like they're doing it. It
yeah,
can be based on what your lifestyle is and the things that you're into. You're
yeah,
into music. This is perfect.
yeah. See,
Um, Singing. Okay, here's the thing. I gotta say this
hmm,
because a lot of people they will get the part that I talked about and they will get the aspect of it that is okay, listen to music, enjoy it while I'm visualizing what I want. A lot of people can understand that and get into that. But here's the thing. When you are practicing singing, what's
yeah.
happening?
I guess I'll,
Okay, you're using sound. And remember, I always say that making sound is more impactful than listening to sound. Because when you're making sound, you're literally sending that high vibration energy out into the universe.
yeah.
It's very impactful. It is very creative. Like creative as in it will create things, it will change things, it will manipulate energy.
And I truly, truly believe that. What is it? Recently, I was watching a video where somebody was doing video reactions. And people who are technically, into like, vocals technically, some people get to a point where they can have a lot of flexibility in their voice to where as though they can hit these vocal runs that make people just shrill like, damn, oh, I felt every part of that note that they said.
Yes,
Send shrills through my damn spine. That was good. Like, ooh, did it
yes,
again. That was so damn good.
yes. And yeah, it is very powerful,
Yeah,
when you sing versus just when you listen to music. So I would say, even if you're not somebody who is working on becoming a singer, it
yeah.
is you wouldn't believe what you could create by just singing along to music out loud.
Oh yeah.
There are some times when, I'm in, I put some music on that I like to listen to, and I'm just belting it out of the top of my lungs. Don't even care how I sound. But you
Yeah.
know what? It doesn't matter how I sound because
It doesn't.
I'm sending that energy out into the universe, and it's coming. It's based on. It's not just a sound that I'm making. It's my vibrations, whatever my vibratory levels are at, is in there. It's
Yeah.
contained in there, and you're creating at the time. It's very powerful, and it will affect. It's almost like you could say it could affect anyone that's hearing it.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
very healing too.
yeah. I know a lot of people teach. I know for Sonia Choquette, you know, she in her classes that she does in her live events, what she usually does is, as soon as people come in, she's like, "Oh, let's dance." She's like, "That's how I start
Oh,
my
that's
thing."
awesome.
She's like, "I started off because it raises everybody's vibration." She's like, "I don't give rules to it. I just turn the music up, and we all just go crazy."
That is something that that Osho used to do. They
Hmm.
got these videos now that they used against him to
Oh,
try to say
okay.
he was having some kind of wild orgies going on, because he did get into that. He did get into a little bit of
Okay.
that. Like, people were naked and they were just jumping and dancing around. But this was supposed to be a part of, letting go of your inhibitions,
Yeah.
and being free. And, it wasn't like how they portrayed it really. But um that was what it was about. It was about them trying to reach a certain point, a certain vibratory level.
Oh yeah. Yep. And that,
And when you see them like jumping around, it almost looks like, it almost looked like a whole bunch of people that were on LSD or something. That's what it looked like. But what happens when you just let yourself go and let yourself be free?
well, yeah, and it's true. Like I think that's the science behind that. I think it really is a science. People who kind of do let go and are kind of free. To be themselves are usually the ones that actually have an easier time manifesting. You know, People with a
Yeah,
lot of creativity, and they usually have an easier time with manifesting. But yeah,
exactly.
uh,
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that you do, when it comes to manifesting, you do have to be gradually working on not being in a state of worry, not being in a state of
yeah,
being freaked out. That whole thought of, oh my goodness, my cell phone bill is due tomorrow, I still don't have the money, I need $80, I have $5 right now, where am I going to get it from? That whole thought process right there, you have to let go of it. There's um if you can work on trust and almost a little bit of blind faith, that
yeah,
would be the best thing, because you really, that worry that says, how is this going to be possible? you know I could hear some of my friends now saying, yeah, but you don't understand, I only have $5 right now, where am I going to get $75 from by tomorrow? It's that whole thought, like that whole thought process, that, because when you say, but where am I going to get $75 from tomorrow, that thought process almost says, I don't believe it's possible.
yeah. And it's almost like we give ourselves a deadline, and I'm guilty of doing that. Like the laptop thing, when I was like, you know what? When I eventually came to the conclusion, I was like, I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to ride it out and just believe that I'm still going to be okay. You know?
And you turn the corner. That's
Yeah,
what I feel. I feel like, because that's what I had said to you when it came to you getting the $500. I said to you, I said, Kier, what did you do? I said, So what did you do? Were you working on manifesting or something? What did you do? You did something. What did you
Hmm.
do?
And I had to think about it. Yeah, I literally had to think about it, and I'm just like, well, I've been in my room, and I was like, oh shit, you know, you're right. I think that was my process of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. And I was just like, I think that was my process of manifesting. I was visualizing. I was just having fun. I wasn't even considering what I was doing, and I was just like, literally, that's what I was doing. All that time for a period of days, just sitting there, just visualizing, just putting myself, just putting myself in that space of possibility.
But did you realize when I said to you, like, here, what did you do? At that point, did you realize that you had manifested that?
No, I didn't consider it. That's when you said, I was like, you know what? You are absolutely right. I was like, I didn't think about it. It didn't occur to me until you said, I sat there pondering, why the hell did this come to me for? Where was this at before? But I didn't consider what I was doing. I didn't consider that what I was doing was just kind of like, building a way, paving a way for it, to actually come in. I just wasn't thinking that. And then I was just like, oh shit, yeah. Now I come to think about it, I was doing this, I was doing that. I really wasn't talking to anybody on the phone. That's all I was doing. I went to sleep dreaming about it. It was just like, yeah, that's pretty much all I was doing. Yeah, it didn't occur to me. But that's what I liked about it because usually people, when they start one thing I heard a lot of people talk about when it comes to manifesting, they do tell you to kind of drop it. You know what I'm saying? They're
Hmm.
like, after you do your work, drop it. Don't think about it. Don't try to expect for it. Don't want too much. Try not to, try to let it go. And literally, since I had no focus, since I didn't really had nothing to really focus direction and really, that's all it kind of was. I was just focusing on practicing and getting better.
Right.
Um, I guess when it came, I was just like, where the fuck did this come from? I sat there for like 10 minutes pondering, where did this come from? Why? Why now? Why not when I needed it? And then I looked down and I read it said Todd Water Tech, and I said, oh shit, this is a damn refund check. So I called my mom. I was like, I know where it came from. She was downstairs. I'm like, I know where it came from. It came from Todd Water Tech. And then I had to think, when
Right.
I saw 180 Days Void, I was like, wait a minute, this had to come to me for a reason. This is not a coincidence. Why now? That's what it felt like. This can't be no coincidence. And then when I called when you told me to call the administration from the school, like the girl was like, "Hey, it hasn't been 180 days yet. Go ahead and cash your check, man. And if it's not right, you can give me a call back so we can fix it for you." So that's kind of when I felt like things were kind of working itself out. That's when I was like, this isn't no coincidence. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, come
Yeah.
on. You
Well,
know,
except that you were like, where was this when I needed it? And that's when I was like, okay, well, the thing is, that is the thing, is that,
yeah,
and a lot of people complain about that. They're like, oh, why does it take so long for me to manifest something? Well, look, you can get to that point where you can manifest quickly and easily, where you can manifest literally within minutes, but you have to make the sacrifice. It does take a sacrifice. You
yeah,
have to work to achieve a higher spiritual level to be at that point, but it is a sacrifice that you would have to make, and you have to decide if you're like ready to make that sacrifice, because it might take you hours of spiritual work per day for a certain amount of months. You may be thinking, yeah, that would be worth it if I can manifest, quickly.
well, yeah,
But other things will be changed. You will
yep,
gain a lot, but also you won't be the same. I hate to say you won't be the same person.
I mean, it's the
I
truth
want to
though.
say you'll be changed, though. You
It's the
can't
truth.
spiritually advance to a much higher level without being changed.
Yeah, it's the truth. I used to hear that when people say once you wake up, there's no going back. I used to say, yeah, right, but it's the truth. That's like saying if you manifest $1 million, do you really think you're gonna forget that experience? When you're going through something, bad, you're just like, I know I can change this.
Exactly.
That's in you now. It's like
Yeah.
there's no forgetting it. You know the truth.
Yeah.
So
Somebody had said to me the other day, because I was telling them that I used to take acting classes with the mother of a girl who's on General Hospital that plays, oh,
I know who you're talking about.
Maxie. I think she
Talking
plays
about the
Maxie,
girl. You talking about the girl that was off of Xenon. I remember her
the
from
blonde girl. Yeah.
that was off the Disney movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I took acting classes with her mother, and it was awesome. I
Hmm.
took actually quite a few sessions, and it was a great experience. She even let me read one, she showed me one of her scripts from General Hospital, and I was like floored because this thing was like freaking 10 pages long. And I was like, well, how much time does she have to like memorize all this? She was like, this is what she gets in the evening for the next day. And I was like, oh, shit. I was
Wow.
like, how does she memorize all this? And it was a really great experience. But it's like I had that interest back. That was when Tyler, I still had that interest when my son was like a two-ish.
Hmm.
And the person said to me, oh, well, why not? Are you still doing it? Well, why not? And I was just like, you don't understand. The interest is gone. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I no longer have the same interest. And then I recently heard someone say the same thing. I was listening to Muji, and Muji was talking about how he was into painting and artistic work and everything. And he said something similar. He said, I don't have that interest anymore. I'm not drawn to it anymore the way I used to be. So you do change where your interest lies, what's most important to you, it changes. So that's why I say before you head down that road, don't think that just because, oh, I'll be able to manifest quickly. Oh, yeah, I want that. But along with that, what comes with that? You
It's
know
a
what I mean?
sacrifice. Yep.
There are some things that may come with it that you may not be ready for. The changes to yourself and your
Mhm.
interest. You know what I mean?
See,
You may
mine's
not be ready for that.
mine's was my age. And you know this already. When I told you it's my age, the age that I'm at. You know, usually people in my age bracket. I'm 20. I'm 26. Usually people are still kind of out having fun. And I felt like, with me, that would force me to kind of grow up fast. I was just like, if I was in my 30s, that's what I always said. When I hit my 30s, oh yeah, no problem. My 30s are going to be fucking banging. It's going to be fucking banging. And somebody had validated it. I was like, I already know. I already know because I felt like I won't need those experiences that I needed in my 20s. And I'll be so content with myself and who I am. I was like, oh yeah, my 30s are going to be fucking smooth. And it'll be a good chance for me to actually practice everything that I know. And that's why I said to you, I'm afraid to go up another level because certain things that I still want to do, that would
Yeah.
lower my vibration, Um, but I'm trying my best to find balance, and that's the hard thing because it's like, yeah, I want stuff and I need stuff. So it does require that spiritual discipline sometimes, but I can't have too much of it or else I feel like it's boring. You know, life is just, where's the color in life? The stuff that, that makes life, that makes growth. That's kind of how I started to feel. And that's kind of what made it hard for me. But now, it's getting better because I'm finding balance in between it. You know, um, yeah. But yeah,
Right. Exactly.
go up a
You
level
know,
because
for for those who are saying, well, I don't care what I might have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
I want to manifest. I want this. I want power. Well, yeah, you can have all that. You always have the ability to have all that.
Hmm.
All you had to do was put the time and effort and energy into it. Look, if you're willing to sit for 4 or 5 hours a day and say decrees and mantras and visualize, you can have that. You can achieve it.
And Marvel movies, the Marvel movies show that all the time. The person gets these abilities out of nowhere, and it's just like, now they feel like they're a hazard to life. When they do something, they display the abilities in front of everybody, and they're like, "Wait, don't touch me, get away from me." It's just like I don't want this.
Yeah.
I want to fit back in. Now everybody thinks that I'm a freak. This is not cool. I want what I had before back. I don't want none of this. I never asked. Yeah, I think that's a good example. Most of the Marvel movies definitely show that. There is a downside to it.
Yes. Hi, Dana. Um, yes, absolutely.
That's true. That was
Um,
good.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
good.
A downside, I don't know. It depends on where you're at in life,
Yeah,
or
it does.
whether or
Yeah.
not you're going to perceive it as a downside
Hmm.
or something you are ready for. Because I know, for me, I was like early 40s, you know, I was ready for it. You know what I mean? I was ready
Yeah,
for it. But, you know, definitely, I don't know, having really lived and really had a lot of experiences and really lived my life and
yeah,
oh yeah, I partied in my 20s and my 30s like it was
yeah,
1999. um I had a lot of experiences that I learned from, and then I came to realize I was meant to have those experiences. I was meant to live my life up until a point the way I did because I learned from it.
yeah,
um, and then after my son was born, yeah, after he was born, I started to naturally reawaken,
yeah,
I guess you could say.
yeah. That's good.
Um, so, but some people consciously choose it.
Yeah. I said, well, with me, it was just, what my issue is, even when it comes to, being psychic and developing intuition and stuff like that, I had, of course, you know this about me, sometimes it's hard for me to actually kind of go into that because I'm just like, I don't want to know certain things about people sometimes. And I don't want to be sensitive. I know I told you that. I was like, I don't want to be sensitive. If I'm trying to talk to a girl, I don't want to be, well, she seems like this, or she thinks that I'm this, or oh yeah, I know what she's thinking. Sometimes I just want to say fuck it, as a male, and just be like, don't even worry about that shit, man. Keep your focus.
Yeah, that's the man thing. That's why I always try to tell people when it comes to relationship readings, I'm like, you got to keep in mind, like when people ask me the question, like, oh, what is he thinking about this? What is he thinking about that? I'm like, you got to keep in mind, typically, guys don't think like that. I
Yeah,
don't have anything to pick up on because guys don't think like that. I can tell you a lot about him, but I can't
yeah,
tell you what he's not like thinking, what he's not doing. I could tell you a lot about where his head is at, but his head may not be there.
yeah,
That doesn't mean anything bad. That doesn't mean he don't care about you. It just means that he's not like us women. He's not like we have the energy to like literally sit and ponder something for a while.
for a while.
And yeah, we do. We have the energy to sit and ponder it for a while. Can pick it apart, put it back
Oh
together,
yeah,
try to figure it out. And guys just don't do that. And it doesn't get, I know it's kind of hard because then when somebody asks me a question, it doesn't give me that to read about them because they don't think like that. But
Yeah,
I can tell you like where his head is at,
yeah,
where his head is at and where his focus is at. When people are like, oh, well, he works with this girl. Does he like her? I can even tell you what he thinks about her. I can be like, yeah, he sized her up and he's not interested in that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean? I can tell you that, but I can't tell you something where his head isn't at if he doesn't think like that.
Nah, usually men we say what we feel in the moment. I know when I had my ex girlfriend, she used to do that with me. Well, you said this, so what did you mean by it? What I meant by it when I said it? But it was something more to that. No, it wasn't. It's just like, it wasn't more to it. And I'm like, I meant what I said by it. And if it needs more needed to be said, I would have told you right then and there. Don't question more of what you think or what you feel like I wanted to say. I said what I wanted to say to you, and that's it. And so, yeah, that's what, for men, yeah, we can be like that sometimes. It
Yeah.
can be like a fuck it, just be a man. Don't even ponder that shit. Drop it, let it go. As opposed to women, yeah, they do. I told you, of course you heard my stories about certain friends, and I'm like, they're talking about this. And I'm like, you still talking about that shit? That was last week. What's the big deal?
Well, yeah, that is unusual with guys. Guys don't usually hang on to things for very long and you know what I mean,
Mm,
ponder them very long.
yeah.
Um, but okay, so I guess I should say, okay, if you're listening, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep.
If you're looking for me, you can find me at sherryspeaks.com. If you're looking for Kier, you can find him on Facebook. It's slash Kier Johnson.
Just Kier Johnson. Yep. I gotta actually fix my YouTube. I'm gonna change my name so I can kind of easily be found. But
Yeah, but Kier also he does readings.
yes, I do.
Really great, especially he doesn't really do relationship readings, but if you're open to a relationship reading from a guy, that
Yeah.
is going to be the guy, the male perspective. If
Mm-hmm.
you really want to know the real deal, then that would be perfect if you're open to that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are a male and you've got that male masculine energy, he could do readings or coachings for you and help you out.
Yep.
Um, and then, of course, if you go to my website, you can find all sorts of things from attunement courses, and you'll find all my services there as well. And I have the Reiki certificate creator that I created myself. I think I'm the only one that has such a thing where you can create your own Reiki certificates by entering all your information.
Yeah, you are the only one. Yep.
I think I think I am. I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised nobody's talked about me bad for that yet, out of jealousy. But and now you can even, I added the aspect where you can even, for those of you who are Reiki teachers and are creating them for your students, now there's an option where you can add your own logo so that it can be even more branded from you. And I did go up on the price, but it's still only $1.75, so it's still very affordable. Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to come and look for us on Facebook. I am dot Sherry Andrea. So it's facebook.com/I am.Sherry Andrea. So we're going to be coming back to you again
Mm-hmm.
in just a few short days, and we're going to be doing another video. Um, and I think the next time The next video we're doing will be talking about probably the third eye
Yep.
and developing abilities. So really we were aiming for 8 p.m. So the next time we will make it for 8 p.m. the next time.
Yep.
So we won't be at 11. So we'll be making it at 8 p.m. So join us,
Yep.
and I will, as soon as I know what day it's going to be, I will put a notification on Facebook and on YouTube so that you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
It's been real.
Yep. It's been real. I'm glad we did
It's
this. It's been a while since I made the videos. It's been a while. So
Yes, and we got to like debut your red light in your room,
yep. Yep.
or
Yep. That's why I look
like my
so
or like my mother calls it,
the house like.
the whole light. Yeah. It looks like you're like advertising for hoish tendencies.
Uh,
That's a long story about how that came to be.
well, I
Um,
take the red as being grounded. So yeah.
no, it means that you've got a whorehouse going on there, Kier.
That was hilarious.
Per what my mother said. but but yeah, no, I like the red light. I really like it. I'm gonna like it even more if you get a black light mixed in with it and put some
Yep.
artwork on the wall. Yeah, I'm gonna like it even more.
Yep. No,
Okay,
that's awesome.
so don't forget to look for the notifications that I'm going to be sending out for when we're going to broadcast again. Next time it will be at 8 p.m. So we won't be doing it so late. That was my fault. But it's thank you for listening. It's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk to you later.
Peace. Much love to you.
Bye.